Hi, I'm Jenna and I make bath and body products from my dedicated studio here in Hertfordshire, UK. I've been running small businesses for over 20 years and I share my day-to-day product making, running my business, and I also help others launch their own unique products too. If that's your thing, stick around, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you catch my latest episodes. If you want all my formulations, exclusive content and to chat with me, head on over to Patreon, link in the description below. On my website Reviga you'll find my own range of cosmetic bath and body products along with digital products and workshops to help you with your own business. I also offer some services too. And with that, let's get on with today's video. Hello, it's a new week, it's Saturday and I have a new microphone, a birthday present from my husband, which was very gratefully received. So now you should be able to hear me and I should be able to just wander around. So I'm going to start this video with making something other than the products I'm selling, because I know loads of you watch this channel because you just want formulas. So here's a formula. You can find the PDF and the recipe and everything on Patreon. And what we're going to be making is a deep conditioner, because this time of year with heating on and things like that, your hair can get really dry and then the elements don't help. And if you're anything like me and have absolutely awful hair, then yeah, a deep conditioner is never a bad thing. So I'll show you the making of process. I'll explain a little bit about the ingredients. Bear in mind, anything I say about the ingredients is just what the manufacturer says or suggests that it could be good for. It is not a claim. If you want to claim any of these things about the finished product, you need to go through proper claims processing and testing and things like that. You can't just say what the ingredients say because it might not be true. So yeah, I explain a bit basically just to tell you why I'm using the ingredients, but I'm not claiming that the conditioner does that. I hope that makes sense. If you want to know more about claims, then watch the video that I link below. And yes, I know I keep going on about cosmetic claims, but the thing is, if we all just make claims that aren't true, then who can we trust anymore? So, you know, be the change you want to see. Anyway, let's get on with making this, and I'll show you the whole process with some close-up shots as well, because you don't want to be staring at me the whole time. So here we go. First of all, before anything else, I'm going to put some gloves on because, you know, good GMP. I've also sanitized all my equipment and beakers and such, and I've actually portioned out the ingredients already. So we'll start with a water phase, and we have water in this beaker here. To that, I'm going to add some aloe vera juice. Now, aloe vera juice will be soothing to the scalp. It will moisturize the hair, supposedly, and hopefully also help strengthen it a bit. So we're going to add that in there. Aloe vera juice has quite a low pH, so we may need to do a bit of pH adjusting at the end. So we've added that. We have some glycerin, which is a humectant. I like to add that to most things. It just draws water to the hair, so it will help to moisturize, which essentially is what a conditioner is. So we'll add that in. I do suggest measuring everything directly into your beakers and not doing it the way I'm doing it. The reason I do it this way is because I don't want to spend loads of time weighing out on camera, because that's quite boring. So as you can see, there is quite a lot left in the beaker there. I have over measured slightly to counter that just for this purposes, but this is just for us, so I'm not too bothered. So if you measure directly into the beaker, you will avoid that. And then we've got cetrimonium chloride, which is a conditioning and anti-static agent, and suggested usage rate in the PDF I give on Patreon is probably about the max you'd want to use, because it can cause irritation if you use too much. So we'll pop that in there too. That is our water phase. Just give it a mix around until you see it go clear and not swirly. That just means that the glycerin is all mixed in properly. And then what you want to do is weigh this beaker basically the weight of the ingredients and the beaker together. Note that down, because we will weigh it again after we've heated everything up, and then we'll replace any water that's been lost to evaporation. If you're making a larger batch and it's going to be heating for a while, you might also want to cover this just to keep from anything getting in it whilst you're heating it. But for this small amount, I mean, it's not going to take long for us to heat our phases, so I'm not going to bother. So I'll put that to the side for now. Work on our oil phase. Now everyone knows argan oil is great for hair, so that's what we have in here. Then we have our emulsifier, and I'm using BTMS 50, which is a cationic emulsifier, which means it's conditioning. And BTMS 50 is just lovely. It's quite heavy. If you want a slightly lighter conditioner, you could use BTMS 25, but I like 50. It just, my hair needs it. So we're going to pop that in there. Then we have Kapursu butter. You could use any other butter that you like. This is good for the hair. You could use cocoa butter, but that's really expensive at the moment. You could also use mango butter, any butter you like really. So just make your choice. Just bear in mind, the harder the butter, the thicker your product will likely be. So pop that in there. And then we want a stabilizer and thickener, and I've chosen cetyl alcohol. Cetyl alcohol is very conditioning, it thickens, and it also has a really luxurious feel, which will add to our conditioner. So popping that in there. And those are our phases A and B, and we're going to heat these now in a water bath so that phase B melts down completely and both reach around the same temperature. So we've taken those off the heat now, and we've weighed our water phase. We've replaced water lost to evaporation. It's normally not that much. And then we're going to pour the water phase into the oil phase. We're doing it that way round because it's much easier to get everything out the beaker that way round than it is the other way round. Then mix that up, take that out. Got my little towel there because I want to get the moisture off the bottom of the glasses. And then we stick blend like so, and just try not to move it around, just keep it in one place and do it for sort of 1 to 2 minutes. Actually takes quite a lot less time with this amount mix. So let's take this end off before you brush anything off the blade, obviously for safety reasons. Put this in the washing up. So now we have what seems quite a thin lotion, but you need to remember this is very hot at the moment. So we need to let this cool down. You want it to 40°C or below, and then we can add all our cool down ingredients, and then we'll just stir those in with the spatula. So right now it's 50°C roughly, so need 10 degrees less at least. So we'll leave this alone for a little bit and we'll come back. Okay, so we are under 40, which is perfect. And you'll see we have a beautiful thick consistency here now already, and that will thicken up further. So what we want to do is add our cool down phase. Now I've got it all in the same beaker just because it's easier and you don't have to watch me weigh out everything. But I'll remind myself what's in here from my list here. So we have hydrolyzed wheat protein. So supposedly this strengthens, helps protect and adds shine to the hair. Then we have dipanthenol, which coats and protects the hair, softens, adds shine, and then helps to detangle. I've got fragrance oil. I have used mango. I just really love mango fragrance, especially if it's a good one. And then hydrolyzed silk protein. Now this one supposedly moisturizes and protects the hair from strand breakage. There are other proteins you can use. You could put rice protein instead. Rice protein is supposedly quite good if you've got fine hair and you want to add a bit of volume. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. We'd need to do claims testing. Then I have preservative. I've chosen phenoxyethanol ethyl hexyl glycerin. This is a broad spectrum preservative, but If you prefer, you can use another preservative. You just need to make sure that it is suitable for the charges that are in the product, because we've got cationic charge. So we need to make sure that it's compatible with that, compatible with pH range, etc. And then lastly, I have put in a tiny bit of cocamidal propylbutane. And you might be asking why, because that's a surfactant that normally makes things bubble and foam, and why would you want that in a conditioner? Well, simply put, because when used in a small amount, it adds shine, it adds silkiness, and it adds viscosity to the product. So it actually helps with the luxurious feel of the conditioner and the spreadability of it. And I have made this with and without it, and I can definitely notice the difference personally. So give it a try. I think it's quite nice. It's sort of akin to adding dimethicone to things like this. But if you don't like using silicons, then the cocamidal propylbutane is actually quite a good addition. So we're going to add that and then stir it in by hand. So I'm just going to do this, make sure I've got all of it. Again, weigh directly into the beaker if you're confident to do that, because it just avoids any wastage in beakers like this. And try not to drip it everywhere. And then we're just going to stir that in by hand, and it'll firstly look like it's thinning out loads and curdling, but just keep going. You don't want to stick blend it at this point because you don't want it to all fall out of emulsion. So just keep going with your spatula, or if you have an overhead stirrer, then perfect. I don't have one of those. I can't really justify it at the moment for the amount of emulsions I make, but that may change in future. Because I do have some products planned that may require it. So just keep stirring, and then I'll come back to you when this is all incorporated. And there we go. And you will find this thins out a reasonable amount. Sometimes it can be due to fragrance oil, but also it will be due to just the movement of mixing it all around again, and as it cools down even further, it will thicken. The last thing we need to do is just check the pH sort of need of all of your actives, and we want to check and adjust the pH. Ideally for hair conditioner, I don't know, 4.5, 5.5, and you can possibly have it a little lower. We'll see where this falls and see if we need to adjust it first. Because if you have a slightly lower pH, what that does is close the cuticle. So having a lower pH in your conditioner products is actually quite beneficial. So let's check and see what this is coming at. I am using this pH meter. This can go directly into creams. I'm not going to portion a bit off because, like I said earlier, this is just for home use. This is for us. So I'm not too bothered about making sure that I don't contaminate it and stuff, because I'm pretty confident with how my procedures are when I'm working. So we're going to pop this straight in here and see what that comes in at. And we have around a 4.6-ish, 4.6. I'm actually happy with that. I can't be bothered to adjust, so we're going to leave it like that. You could adjust it down if you wanted to, but I'm going to leave it, and we'll bottle this up. So I've just got these bottles. In fact, this is the only bottle that I had left, and I wanted to put it in a bottle to make sure that water doesn't get in when we're using it. So I'm going to put it in here. This is just any old bottle from Amazon, to be honest. And I'm going to use this so that it doesn't go everywhere, because it's quite thick and it will be harder to get in the bottle otherwise. If you do that over a glass, it's a bit easier to fill initially. Like so. Right, we've got that in there messily. Now I just need to take this out quickly. Put that end in there, out of the way so you can see. And there we go, and you can fill up the bottle without making too much mess. And that looks like the perfect amount. So that's that. Put that in there. And you have your Mango Deep Hair Conditioner. So that's the conditioner made. Shall we go and give it to the person it's intended for? Right, well, he didn't want to be on camera, which is fair enough, but he has very long, lovely hair and it needed a condition, so hopefully that'll help. Now, I need to kind of finish off the products that I was supposed to make in the week, but being ill and having a birthday and all that stuff, I didn't really get much work done, and when I did, it was admin for other people because responsibilities. So today I have some bath bombs and more bubble bars to make. I won't bore you with too much footage of that because you saw that last week, and I'll find something else interesting to chat to you about. I made some bubble bars and here is the footage. Okay, so much the same as last time. One thing I will say is when you have arthritic hands like me and a bad back, like standing up here doing this a lot to get the dye incorporated and all of that and kneading it, it's quite difficult. So sometimes, I'll show you on one of these, sometimes, I don't know if you can see that, you will end up with tiny little spots of dye that haven't quite incorporated. My perfectionist brain is getting really annoyed at that, but it's just a cosmetic imperfection and it won't make any difference to the usage. So if you see that on any of these, that's what that is. I can't stand there doing that. I need a mixer. So yeah, but anyway, we've got them done. So let's have a look, I'll show you. So here are the French lavender ones. That's a mix of pink and a tiny bit of blue dye to give that kind of lavendery shade. And then I've got one just to demo the bubbles. It's just the leftover mix. And then watermelon, which I did pink and green and then thought, yeah, they look cool now, but then the water's going to be like a bit of a muddy green when you use them, but they do smell amazing. And then I've got little just things to test as well, and then of course I've got the mango and the cherry blossom that I did the other day. So I think I'm done for today because it is Saturday and I've been working really hard and I need to get out of this room because there's lots of powders and stuff and I have marks on my face from where I've been wearing a respirator, because if you're making stuff like this, even just the bicarb, wear a respirator please, because you don't want all of that in your lungs. So I'm going to get out of this room now that I've removed it and go and do something else. And then tomorrow, because yes, I do work on the weekends, I'll probably be making the remaining bath bombs so that the coming week I can get on with admin for people and finish the labels and the admin for myself and get this product range launched, because it's been a while and yeah, I want you guys to be able to get your hands on it if you want any of it. So that's the plan. I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. It's Monday. I didn't get much done yesterday. I decided to have a bit of a weekend. So today I have those bath bombs to finish, so we'll get those done. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole yesterday because over the past, probably since the start of the year, I've been trying to work out how best I can offer all of you CPSRs. Now, I'm not a safety assessor. To write safety reports, you do need to be a qualified chemist, toxicologist, all of this stuff. There is a way for me to do it, but it's very long, it's very expensive. But I can offer them if I work with a qualified assessor, which I know a lot of people do. However, I wanted to take some of that work off their hands and be able to at least write some of the reports or compile them in a way that we would want them done. And I have found a way. So it's quite exciting. What would happen is I'd write most of the report, and then it would be passed over to a qualified, highly qualified safety assessor who would basically read over everything I'd done, check that it was all accurate, and then they'd complete the final sort of assessment reasoning. This speeds up the process a lot, meaning that I could do some pre-assessed assessments with flexibility for you guys to basically allow you to create your own products within a certain ingredient range, and basically the moment you buy them you could have them. So I don't know if I'll be doing custom ones. I may very occasionally open up for a custom product assessment. That would take a little bit longer, but obviously it's only me and I run my own business and things, so I don't want to take on too much. So it's likely to mostly just be pre-assessed, but we'll see what happens. I need to work out how to fund this initially because it is a big investment in the first instance, but I think it would be really beneficial, not just for myself and my own business, but for all of you as well. So I'm going to look into that. If you are interested, please leave a comment, because it's good to know what kind of things you want assessments for and what kind of flexibility you want in them. Yeah, so that's quite exciting. I've also been asked many times, and I have been thinking about this for over probably 2 years now, is a business in a box type thing. This wasn't really viable because of the CPSR issue, but now because that is falling into place, I can possibly do them. And that would be basically everything you need to start up your business. You'd have your CPSR or CPSRs of choice. They'd all be pre-assessed and sent to you with your name on as the responsible person. The PIF would be already done for you. The label information would be already done for you. I'd do the portal for you. You'd have all the templates you need. You'd have access to the business workshop. Everything would be pretty much done for you in a box. Obviously, you do need a bit of business knowledge and the ability to problem solve, because if you don't have those things, you're not going to get very far. But most of it will be done for you. So I'm thinking about something like that. If there's anything specific in that kind of thing that you'd want to see, then again, comment below. But it's quite exciting. I think I can put something together that will help a lot of you and make it a lot easier to enter this market, sort of create less of a barrier to entry, and try and make it as affordable and as quick as possible for you. This doesn't mean I'm going to stop working with the existing safety assessors that I recommend. I still highly recommend Math Cosmetics, because the flexibility for custom assessments specifically that he gives you is unmatched. I won't be able to do that. So please go and check out Math. Please go and check out Soak Rochford if you need a assessment with a base. and their fragrances are such high quality. They are very, very concentrated, so you'll get a really, really good scent with those. So I do highly recommend those for things like bath bombs, bubble bars, whip soaps, melt and pour soap, things like that. They're kind of my two go-to. Other people, Oxford Biosciences, Geraldine Gars, Molecule Regulatory, ceway.eu, they also do regulatory stuff. They will act as RP for you, so if you want to sell in a different country, they're the people to go to. There's loads of other places, there's loads of people. Basically, when I start offering the CPSRs and the business in a box and all that stuff, I am also going to list all the other places that I recommend that do CPSRs, so that you can find the best fit for your business, because we all offer slightly different things and our CPSRs will all be slightly different in different ways and fit different people. So I'm going to do that because I don't like competing with people. I just like everyone has their place. So that's all I have to say for now. I'm going to make the bath bombs and film some of that, and then I think we'll end the vlog for this week because I've got something really, really, really fun planned for a Halloween video, and I want to get filming that ASAP because that may take some time. Right, okay, carnage. Look at that mess. Right, so I was happily like sorting out my mix and filming the bath bomb making and everything, and they just weren't working. Whatever I was doing wasn't working. And you know, sometimes when like you've made stuff before and it's been fine, there have been no issues, and then you go to make it again exactly the same way and nope, doesn't want to do it. I know bath bombs can be like this. The humidity is a bit high today, to be honest, but I don't think that was the issue. So I called my emotional support soap bath bomb maker, that is Chrissy from Soapy, and I showed her the mix and everything, and she told me to whack it harder. Just hit the mould a lot harder on the top. And you know what? She was right. It worked. And we've got bath bombs. So let me show you. We have coconut and vanilla, which I've done in kind of blues because I don't know if the vanilla is going to discolour or not, and I wanted to hide it a little bit. And also, you know, coconuts by the sea, blue, you know. Then we have honey citrus, which I've done yellow and orange because no one wants a yellow bath. So the orange will overtake it, and you'll have orange bath water instead of yellow. And then in here we have white bath bombs with sparkle. I don't know if you can see the sparkle, and they've got rainbow embeds in them. So I don't know if I'm calling them snowballs or what I'm calling them, but that's them. So those are scented in a sort of cotton candy pink type scent that you're quite familiar with because it's a dupe, and that's like honey citrus, and that's coconut vanilla, as I told you. And then we've got the bubble bars that I did Saturday. I'll be honest, I'm over it. I'm talking nonsense. Let's end the vlog. I'll do the usual thank you to everyone that watches, because YouTube views are so low across the board, like not just for small channels like mine, but even the bigger channels are not getting the views that they used to a year ago. I don't know what's going on. Please like, comment, share the videos, help us out, because it's not fun being a YouTuber at the moment. It's really hard. So yeah, thank you for everyone that watches and does interact with the videos. And then if you want formulas for things, namely the conditioner that I made at the start of this video, you can find that along with over 100 other formulations and patron posts over on Patreon, link below. Thank you to my VIP patrons listed here. And that's going to be it for today. If you want to watch more of me making things, then catch up on my vlogs from the past few weeks. And I'll see you next time.